Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio. So today, I'm going to be showing you a frankly silly new Pokemon trading card, which is being released in Japan. And before anybody says it, yes, I know it's a jumbo card. Yes, I know it's not going to be legal for tournament play, but I like looking at these jumbo cards and thinking, what if they were legal for tournament play? And generally speaking, if I find questions like that interesting, I want to make videos on them, and other people want to watch them. We looked at the Raikou, Entei, and Suicune card not too long ago, and I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, that was a very popular, well-received video. So I thought, let's have a look at this ridiculous new Zeraora card. Now, I do need to give a couple of quick shout-outs before we get into the video proper. Joaquin, and I'm sorry for the pronunciation here, is the lovely person who sent over the image we are using in this particular video. Don't know where the image was from. I will pop it in the description when I have an answer. And, of course, the lovely David Hochmann has given us our translation, although the translation is not particularly clear on this one. I've been chatting it through with David. We'll talk in a moment. So, what does it actually do? Well, it's got 1,000 HP. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a lot. It's so much, in fact, it is double the amount that Raikou, Entei, and Suicune had. That is redonk. Now, the good news is, if you're playing against it at least, it has got a weakness to fighting for stuff like Buzzwole, although it's got 1,000 HP. That's going to take a little while to get through. And it has got a resistance to metal, which means if you are against something like a Registeel, it will be a 100-hit KO. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They'll do 10 damage. They need to do 1,000. It will take 100 turns to KO. I think by that point you may well have decked out. And retreat cost of 2 is a little bit awkward, but you know, no. Let's not worry about that too much. Now the attack, for 4 lightning energy, we think does 100 damage for each Pokemon in play, yours and your opponent's. Now, David said it is completely different from Zeraora, but anything besides both players' Pokemon in play wouldn't make sense. It's just different from other Japanese cards. It doesn't have active or in play or any other location written on it. So we believe it is 100 damage for each Pokemon in play, which means if you fill your bench as the Zeraora player, you are doing 600 damage, but of course your opponent's got to have at least one Pokemon out, or they've lost the game, so that's minimum 700 damage. But then again, if they don't have a bench Pokemon and they get knocked out, they lose the game, so really, that's minimum 800 damage, up to 1,200 damage. So, let's not muck around with the damage too much. Let's just say it's getting a one-hit KO on anything. Even the Entei, Raikou, and Suicune card. Even other Zeraora. It's all getting KO'd, ladies and gentlemen. It is all getting KO'd here. But at least it's for 4 energy. 4 energy is a rather expensive attack. Now, being a non-GX, you can, of course, use counter energy here if you're behind on prizes, although this really does not seem like the kind of deck that is going to be behind on prizes very often. You can, probably just an expanded, because it's kind of rotating out, use the Electrode from Evolutions. You give up a prize, but then you can attach it as 2 lightning energy, and you could in fact combine Electrode and counter energy to pay the attack cost here. You've got Raikou from Shining Legends that can accelerate a little bit of energy on there. You have, of course, got Magnezone that allows you to attach as many lightning energy during your turn as you like. And let's not forget that Thunder Mountain is coming out, which will reduce the attack cost by a lightning energy, making it a more manageable free lightning energy. Now, to be fair, we've also got Electro Power coming out, which will allow your attacks to do an extra 30 damage, but I don't think that's going to be needed here. Do also remember that the regular Zeraora, or the GX Zeraora, the one we've seen before, will give you free retreat if you've got lightning energy attached to you. So what we have here is a frankly silly 1,000 HP, a frankly silly 8 to 1,200 damage a turn. So how are we going to beat this? Now, you might be thinking, it's weak to Buzzwole. No. Because it's got 1000 HP, right? So Buzzwole needs to do 250 base damage. So let's say you use Absorption GX before you've taken any prizes, that's 240. Then let's say you've got 4 strong energy on there, that's up to 320. Then let's say you've got a Diancie Prism Star out, that's 340, and you're still miles away. You could then add a Fighting Fury bout, not that it'll stop you getting KO'd, of course. And you're up to 350, double to 700, which sounds good, but not good enough to KO this particular Zeraora. Yowzers. The good news is, we have actually got a bunch of different tricks we can use here to actually take this down. It is not an unstoppable fighting machine. One thing we can do here is just go Disruption, because it's got an attack cost of 4. So you can use stuff like Sylveon GX, grabbing out cards like Crushing Hammer and Enhanced Hammer and Team Flare Grunt, and just get rid of all of their energy, although Team Flare Grunt may have rotated. And essentially here, you make sure they never have enough energy to actually do the attack. That is one option we've got here. You literally just run them out of energy. Although if they're just playing this card plus 59 energy, sooner or later it's going to get awkward. I mean, Sylveon GX without a choice band is a 9-hit KO. Oh no, wait! 9 hits will only do 990 and won't actually KO. And I suppose the good news for us is that Max Elixir has rotated, meaning that it's going to be more difficult for Zeraora to actually get rolling. And I do need to give shout-outs because some of these were suggested in the video for my Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, but there are other ways to take this down. So, Robo Dobot did suggest Ultra Prism Rampardos. You see, the great thing about Rampardos is that the second attack, which is quite expensive, if your opponent's active Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it's knocked out. Just instant one-hit KO. And again, this is a Pokemon for whom you can use counter energy, etc. to get it rolling. So Rampardos will counter this massively, not because it's some massively great fighting Pokemon that's getting a clean one-hit KO, purely because it gets an automatic KO on any basic Pokemon. How about, and it will have rotated unfortunately, so this is very much an expanded kind of thing, but how about Jolteon EX? As soon as you use a Flash Ray, 70 damage, and it has immunity from basic Pokemon the following turn, so unless your opponent playing Zeraora's got an evolution Pokemon, or they play something like a Pokemon Ranger, then you're absolutely fine. You can just sit there walling for them for the remainder of the game. One of my real nice ways to do this, and again, unfortunately this will have rotated, Sudowoodo from Breakpoint, the one with Watch and Learn. Because you see, for 2 energy, or indeed just 1 counter energy, if your opponent's Pokemon use an attack during his or her last turn, use it as this attack. So they use Zeraora's ridiculous attack to do 8 to 1200 damage, and then you use Sudowoodo to do 1600 to 2400 damage, because you're hitting back just as hard, but you're then hitting back with weakness. That could work very, very nicely indeed. Of course, the other option here is you just use it with Max Potion and Ace Roller, and basically just stall your opponent out, and then maybe you play disruption cards like Crushing Hammer. A ridiculous card, of course it has to be banned. It's not unbeatable, although some of the best ways we've got like Sudowoodo are rotating out. It is a beatable card. It's just kind of annoying. If this was legal, and it's not, right, I said this right at the beginning of the video, it's a jumbo card, it's not legal, hopefully it will make its way outside of Japan. If it was legal, you'd either have to play it, or you'd have to play a hard counter to it. Either way, whenever I look at these jumbo cards, I always start thinking, yeah, but what if it was legal? And that's a question that interests me. And I like to think a lot of you guys watching will have the same reaction. Plus, of course, I did this for the last jumbo card and that turned out to be a fairly popular video. I thought I'd repeat the trick this time, but let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Do you like hearing about these jumbo cards? Can you think of any other ways that this jumbo card will be beaten? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio where you can do just that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.